If you've ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, then I'm sure you're curious about how much money you'd make. I know it can be discouraging to start from scratch and feel totally unsure about if and when you'll ever get monetized or not. But hopefully today's video will give you some inspiration and serve as a launching pad into your YouTube journey. I'll be sharing a ton of information about how I got started and how much YouTube paid me in my very first month of being monetized with this channel. We'll be looking under the hood into all of my analytics so you guys can see how much YouTube paid me, and also discuss some of the things I would do differently if I was to start today. So with that, let's dive in. I started my channel on May 3rd, 2023 and got monetized on June 20th after only posting 7 videos. Candidly, this is pretty quick compared to most creators on YouTube. So why was I able to make it happen this fast? Well, in full transparency, I've been working on social media for years and have a pretty good sense for these algorithms. So when it comes to modern art forms that contribute to success on YouTube, things like scripting, editing, tags, keywords, and YouTube SEO, luckily my experience was able to drive some nice results. During my first 6 weeks, my upload schedule was actually quite random. And again, being real with you guys, that was not by design. I just didn't have my systems built out for this channel and was juggling way too many tasks. I know a lot of YouTubers who pump out 2 to 3 videos per week and preach more. But to be totally honest, I think that less is more when your content is of high quality. With all that in mind, let's look at my analytics so far. This is what my total view count looks like since I started. As you can see, we had a pretty crazy spike where we went from getting 100 views a day up to around 70,000 views a day in a pretty short time frame. Now, obviously this was cool and all, but in my opinion, it's actually not the best thing to aim for when you're growing on YouTube. I would much rather see a graph that consistently grew over time than random spikes of virality, because just as quickly as our views went up, they ended up dropping back down again afterwards. The channel has settled to around 10,000 views a day, and I've noticed that each video really struggles to take off since then. Now look, I'm really excited about the traction that this channel's had and would never want to sound like I'm complaining about it, but I consider myself a scientist when it comes to these algorithms and want to be transparent about the good, the bad, and the ugly of experiencing rapid growth like this. Another note that was a little bit frustrating about this crazy spike of growth was that I wasn't monetized when it happened. I actually passed the monetization thresholds of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on June 16th, but then it took YouTube a few days to update that in my analytics and another few days to approve my channel for monetization. So I wasn't able to start collecting AdSense money until June 21st, which as you can see was already where the graph was going downward. So we missed out on the main crux of these views. Obviously, this isn't going to matter much long term, but in total, I would have made another $5,000 if I had been monetized this entire time. So this is just another reason that you shouldn't aim for just one big viral spike and try to build consistent growth instead. If we look at the subscribers, my channel peaked around 4,000 subscribers in one day when all this happened, which by the way was so extremely rewarding, and I still haven't been able to wipe the smile off my face. Since the spike, my channel's been growing by a few hundred subscribers a day, which I'm also really happy with. And finally, for the moment that a lot of you are here for, how much did YouTube pay me for my first month? I made a whopping total of $815. We topped out around $60 a day, but surprisingly had some other decent days along the way. You might notice that this graph looks a little bit different than the other graphs, and this is because of one thing: CPM, or cost per mille. Your CPM is the amount that advertisers pay per 1,000 views. My CPM is different for every video that I post, and it even changes on a day-by-day basis. Overall, we can come into our advanced settings and see that the CPM is currently around $5. This number is great, but it's actually much lower than I had anticipated when I started this channel. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers in this niche in the past who had much higher CPMs, so either a lot of them were lying, or maybe this market has become so saturated that it's not as high as it used to be. I actually personally own other channels in different niches that have much higher CPMs than this one does. But what does all this mean to you? The reason I'm telling you all this and showing you these metrics is so you have as much information as possible before you embark on your YouTube journey. That way, as you progress, you'll be able to make educated decisions based on real data and experience. The reason I started this whole channel was because I noticed most YouTubers in this niche were giving really bad information. For example, when it comes to picking a niche and choosing something with a high CPM, most YouTubers just recite information from some crappy website with a list of niches that are totally outdated. but I actually went through and found some channels with insanely high CPMs to help give you the best ideas possible. Let's look at this one. Pretty decent amount of followers, but what if I told you that this guy had a different channel with 3 million subscribers that he completely abandoned to start this new one from scratch? This is a crazy story and proves how important having a high CPM is. Thomas Frank originally had a successful YouTube channel in the productivity niche that he grew to about 3 million subscribers. He was making videos about living a more productive lifestyle, but then he abruptly abandoned the entire ship and stopped posting on that channel when he discovered how much higher his CPM would be in a different niche. Imagine giving up 3 million subscribers to start from zero. Stay with me though, I promise I'm gonna make this make sense. He decided to start a brand new channel that was all about Notion. If you don't already know what Notion is, it's basically an organizational tool that helps people with tasks, to-do lists, and project tracking. Now here's why CPM is so important. Thomas has said publicly that his new channel has a CPM of about $30. That means that a video of his with 100,000 views would make roughly $3,000. And remember, my CPM is around $5, so a video of mine with 100,000 views would only make around $500. So now, Thomas is actually making far more money from his new channel with a few 100,000 subscribers than he ever was with his channel of over 3 million subscribers. He's also said publicly that in total, he's making around $100,000 per month, which I'm sure a lot of us could use right now. Soon, I'll be doing a full step-by-step tutorial on how you could basically replicate a channel just like his using AI, so make sure you're subscribed for that. All this information is very encouraging for people who are on the fence about starting their own YouTube channel. Just like the positive stuff, I'm gonna be super real with you guys about some of the negatives, like how running a YouTube channel takes a lot of time, especially if you wanna do it well. Scripting a 10-minute video typically takes me between 8 and 12 hours. Then recording it takes another 2 hours. Editing takes between 8 and 30 hours. Coming up with a good thumbnail is another 2 hours. Uploading the video is another hour. And then for every video, I try to put in 8 to 10 hours of engaging with my audience and getting to know you guys to understand what you want more of every week. If you add all that up, it's a lot, even if you do outsource a few of the major tasks. Now, obviously it's worth it if you end up making money, but there is some risk involved. You're risking your time, your energy, and for some of you, you're risking money up front. The other main potential downside I'm seeing is all this AI garbage flooding YouTube lately. Now, some are successful and some aren't, but my biggest fear is that YouTube will become washed out by all this AI content. At some point, maybe the AI channels will actually be better than the ones created by humans. I hope that we're a long way off from that, but regardless of these concerns, you can obviously still make great money on YouTube with the right systems and blueprint in place. I definitely recommend finding some sort of a mentor to help you if you're just starting out. That way, you won't waste a bunch of time learning the silly lessons the hard way. For example, it would suck to waste a lot of time starting a channel in the wrong niche and learning about the importance of having a high CPM 6 months down the line. If you want the rest of that list of high CTM YouTubers like the one I mentioned earlier, just sign up for my free newsletter below. Moving forward, I'll continue to do video updates like this every 3 months to be fully transparent about how much YouTube pays me. Thanks for watching today and stay tuned for more ways to make money online.